Alright. Here's the big part. It's a gas mystery box.
This is for Saturday.
We are
right?
live, guys. We are live.
Yay. So Ellen for Chris.
No. 2 MSPs.
But these are cool too.
No, they're not.
I think they're cool, Mark.
You know what?
All right.
Yeah.
Is this something we can do on camera or off camera?
This is for the camera, actually. This is stuff we're
Alright.
going to tell you guys in a little bit. This is cool stuff.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
For some reason, why are we not streaming? Why is this not going?
Wait, just be patient.
Is it recording?
Well, okay, that's annoying.
Oh, here. Do you want to use
It
this?
says we're live.
Refresh
Are we
that
live?
one. Refresh the YouTube page. The far right side.
Let's see here. All right,
We-
looks
oh,
like
we
we
are
are
live.
live. All right.
This is happening.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Airsoft GI live show on December 17th, 2013. Welcome back. All right, I actually like to start out the show with a couple shout-outs. One shout-out goes out to Zach Patrick. Thank you for calling in to the customer service stream. Also, shout-out to Black Ops Airsoft North and South. Shout-out approved. All right, let's get on to what we're going to talk about today.
Very cool. So the topic for today is going to be MilSim versus the casual or recreational airsoft player. So that's what we're going to discuss in a little bit. If you guys saw our last show, we want to continue the interaction with you guys as much as possible. So if you guys have comments or questions or input, go ahead and post it in. Please do not spam. Our Predator Josh will be monitoring your guys' comments. And keep in mind that there is about a minute or two delay between the comments and the video feed. So if you guys don't hear us talk about your comment right away, please wait like about 4 or 5 minutes or so and then repost it again. And then Josh is going to be feeding us the good questions that will be valid to the discussion. So before we go into that, we got a couple cool promos that we want to go into. Bob, do you want to jump into that first?
All right.
Maybe just that one first.
All right, first of all, our coupon code HOLIDAY20 is still in effect, so you're going to be able to get 20% off your orders minus the free shipping. So it's going to save you some money. Make sure to use those coupon codes. What I've noticed in some of our orders in the customer service department, people just forget to do that, and you could be missing out on some free money. So make sure to use HOLIDAY20 for 20% off.
Why would you not want free money?
People just don't know. You know, ignorance is bliss, but
That is true.
not in this case. So
Free money is nice.
quite.
So the next thing is we do have our store sales coming up December 21st and the 22nd. Traditionally, our retail stores in California and Virginia are closed on Sunday, but because we understand it is the last weekend before Christmas, our stores will be open on Saturday and Sunday, both in Virginia and California. The hours, so you guys know, Saturday is from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday, it is shortened hours.
Go ahead.
1 p.m. for 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. and that is at the respective time zone. So Virginia naturally Eastern time, and in California here Western or Pacific Standard.
Good recovery.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. What do we got? We also got guaranteed shipping dates.
Oh wait, I wasn't know what to say. I thought you wanted to chime in about that.
Ah, it's okay. You do what you want.
Oh, okay. So with the store sale, we will be giving away a G4 custom gun at both of those stores. The way that works is the first 50 customers to spend over $150 will receive a free goodie bag. Now this goodie bag is going to have a lot of cool stuff, patches, hats, t-shirts, and also GI bucks, which can be used at a later day, which is just straight money at the store. But one of those bags will have a redemption for a G4 custom gun. So that's going to be really cool. That is only going to be happening on Saturday. So if you guys want to try to get one of those goodie bags, I'd recommend showing up somewhat early and try to get one of those goodie bags. Also, the other really big news is Elite Force and UMWorks are dropping their map pricing on the 22nd, on the 21st and the 22nd. So that is valid at both of the retail store locations and online as well. So for you online customers, don't worry. We still have the coupon code going, but you can get a good discount if you want a 416 or if you want like a USP or something like that. This weekend is the best time to do it because they're dropping their map on it. Okay, guaranteed shipping.
All right, so we do have our guaranteed shipping dates. If you want to make sure you get something in time for Christmas, you are going to have to order in the following dates. So if you want to get your order by Christmas and you want to use 3-day select, you have to order by December 19th. Now, if you want to use two-day shipping, you are going to have to order by December 20th. And if you get next-day shipping, you will have to order by December 23rd. Our UPS ground shipping date, guaranteed shipping by Christmas, has already passed, so you are going to need to take care of if you want to get these gifts, get the 3-day, second day, or next day by those dates. So make sure if you are doing last-minute holiday shopping, that you do account for that extra shipping because it can add up if you're not paying attention to it. I want to just say cheeseburger because Mr. Fortunate was asking me to, and say hi to Supreme Overlord Zach.
Hello. Cheeseburger. Did we ever get our $5 from that?
No, we didn't.
Oh.
We didn't. I know.
If you guys didn't see, I think it was like 2 or 3 live shows ago.
Yeah.
We were
dancing
for money apparently, and we're waiting on that.
It doesn't make us strippers.
Oh, I didn't.
It makes us go. I think it makes us go-go dancers.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so the next cool thing that we have coming up is more mystery boxes for the holiday season. We had one last Friday, and it was one of Santa's mystery boxes. That thing was awesome. That thing sold out so quick, it was ridiculous. So tomorrow we're having another mystery box that goes live at 5 p.m. I'm not going to go through the full list, but the grand prizes are a Black Card Custom M249 Mark II that is Polar Starred.
Wow.
Yes, so that's going to be really cool. That's one of the big grand prizes. On top of that, you can also win an IAR, and the other one is, I believe, a VFC Scar Mark 16. So those are just some of the bigger prizes you guys can win.
All right.
There's a lot of cool stuff in there. So that is happening tomorrow at 5 p.m. So when it goes live, if you want a mystery box, do not wait. Those things go so quick. We will also be having a gas blowback mystery box on Saturday. I'm sorry, this Saturday at 5 p.m. I believe that's what's going live. And that gas blowback one that is going to include some of the Wii MSKs, Chris Vector, LM4, one of the new KWA AKs, a lot of other cool stuff, some of the Elite Force 1911s. So that one's happening on Saturday. So the one tomorrow is going to be pretty sweet, but if you are more for the realism, then the gas blowback one on Saturday might be the one for you.
Mm.
Nice. So we got some cool new stuff that we just got in. Do we want to jump into some of that?
Might as well go over some of this first, and then we'll get into the actual question, answer, and topic in a little bit. So things I want to talk about first is we actually just got these Amoeba M4 Tactical Pistol Series AEGs from Airsofting. I actually, a few folks in the office were making fun of these, but I think these are a really cool gun for some specific design features. Obviously, this is made for CQB. I do like the folding stock because, it's actually doesn't add on a whole lot of weight. It's really easy to use, and it's really intuitive. And then thirdly, I really like having folding stock so I can shoulder it like this and use my axe. But I think probably the coolest feature of this is that they've got the raised rail right here, so you can add on optics that'll be right in front of your eyes. But also to put in the battery, just pull these 2 pins or push these little 2 tabs, and you can insert the stick battery in right there. It's so much easier than having to put a PEC box on externally, and it looks cooler that way that you don't have to. Really great deal. I think these are really functional for CQB, and they also have an enlarged magazine release, which I really like too. So pretty cool, very, very lightweight, and in fact a lot lighter weight than the SOB. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, I definitely like this because it reminds me of the the MP5K, which I'm definitely a fan of. But one of the reasons why I don't rock an MP5, or I haven't for a long time, is because the magazine is much skinnier, doesn't hold as much. This is just essentially something very similar with an M4 mag, which I have a billion M4 mags too. So I think functionally for airsoft, it's a really well designed gun because it uses the M4 mags, and the battery compartment, as Bob mentioned, I think was one thing that I was most impressed with. That it raises up the rail right at the height where you would normally, co-witness your sights anyway. So a small micro red dot would work just fine. Folding stock, which is good, and then we also have the other version without the stock too. Here, I'll hold on to that really quick. I want to play with it. But it's just a really great compact CQB gun. Now this is, I believe, OEM'd by Ares, so it does have their ECU in it that is also programmable. So that one is kind of some cool features in there. It's not going to come with the red dot you see on this.
Yeah, this is an additional. Well, this is essentially an add-on that they just put on. I didn't even notice that. It does come with a red dot. Doesn't come with the black flash hider, but these do have 14mm clockwise threading, so you can add a barrel extension on for extra coolness factor. This is, in my mind, a more concealable one because you just put this on a bungee sling and just have it underneath something. So that's pretty cool. These are really awesome. These are great for CQB. So I like to take 1 or 2 of these out.
Yeah, that would definitely be cool. Yeah, and when you guys were filming outside, you had the soft shell, and it was slung over, and he had it all zipped up. I didn't even know he had the gun, and he goes zip. It was like total Secret Service status, which was really, really cool. So
that was pretty fun.
Yeah, and then besides that, I mean, the standard Picatinny rails on this version. That's nice. That if I rock one of these in CQB, I'm naturally going to run a flashlight to help me trace the BBs and blind the enemies. So that's going to help out. But we got a few questions that we're going to jump into really quick. Evan O is asking, what is your favorite airsoft field that you have played at? Bob, do you want to answer that first?
Yeah, I want to go East Coast and West Coast because on the East Coast, hands down, my favorite airsoft field has to be Ballahack. They have just about everything I would want. I mean, they do have, you know, a Mount Town, which is one of my favorites. They do have field play. They do have the swamp. It's basically everything I've always wanted. So I would have to say Ballahack. On the West Coast, I would probably have to say probably Game Pod, just because I've had a lot of fun there, but because I've been there more regularly, maybe SC Village. So between SC Village and Game Pod, those are my two favorite on the West Coast. But overall, Ballahack.
Very cool. And that makes me sad because actually both those fields I haven't played at.
I'm embarrassed for you.
Both of those fields, though, I should be playing at next year. Game Pod, we're going to for the Bob Rebel Training Camp, Northern
Resistance.
Northern Resistance, thank you, which we'll talk about in a second if we didn't mention it already. But that one looks like a lot of fun, and my favorite field of all time is probably Fort Ord in Northern California. I actually went to college in Monterey Bay, which was a mile, not even a mile away from there. Like, it was like a 2-minute drive. So I'd wake up in the morning and I'd go over there, and that field was amazing because it was, for me, an amazing mix of indoor and outdoor all mixed together. It was an abandoned military, I think, barracks. So you had like roads and like long shots, but then also you can go in these 2-story barracks with everything cleared out and some like rubble on the inside. But those are some great moments where I had like awesome sniping moments, and I had moments where we'd stack up and breach a room and like engage guys at super close CQB distances. The indoor rule was once you go inside, you have to transition to a pistol. So that was a really cool dynamic. Grenades, and I think that was probably one of my favorite fields of all time. Haven't been there in a long time.
It's interesting. I didn't know Cal State Monterey Bay was just a mile down from Fort Ord. That was a little further away.
It was close.
Wow.
It's like a mile, maybe 2 miles. I would walk by it, like going to the beach and stuff like that, and it was great.
Yeah, I still think they use part of Fort Ord for some military usage, but the rest of it, yeah, is only going to be around for Airsoft for a couple more years, so I hear. So that would be really cool. It'll be a really fun field to play at. They've been doing stuff there with Roundhouse Productions for a couple years now. Yeah. So that'd be great.
Yeah, definitely. The next question from Donovan Taylor is asking, what is going to happen with TVB? That series is not dead.
If you don't mind. All right, so the fight for freedom is not over. The series will continue in 2014. There's actually nothing we can really mention right now because it's all classified. Yes. So when we do have something to mention, where we're going, what the tactical situation on the ground is, we will make sure to blast that from the high heavens, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, everything, so you guys will know about it. But the Fight for Freedom is gearing up for its next iteration in Northern California with Bob the Axeman's Rebel Training Camp, Northern Resistance. So if you guys want to prepare for the next fight, make sure to go up there and train, and we will have hopefully some more information in the months to come.
Definitely. And I actually hinted at it previously in this live cast, and I didn't even say anything about it, so if you guys caught on, good. If not, you guys will have to wait and find out, but I am very excited, so it's going to be cool. Yeah, it was very subtle.
I didn't even catch that.
I'll tell you later.
Oh, all right.
Anyway, so yeah, it's definitely going to continue, and then Game Pod, I'm actually excited to go out there because you're talking about the buggy that they have with like a minigun on top and
yeah,
stuff.
it's got a, it doesn't have like a real minigun. It looks like a minigun. It's actually got a P90 with dual centric gears inside of it, which is pretty badass. But they actually got, from what I hear, like a second buggy, a smaller one, as opposed to just having one. So that's really nice.
Speaking of P90s, can you pass me that one? I want to play with that one some more. So I just went to Hollywood Sports this last Saturday and played with this specific P90, which is one that our technicians worked on. It's not shooting anything crazy fast right now. It's about like 23 BBs a second, and the FPS is a little bit lower. It's about 320 because we wanted it to be CQB legal. But I think I mentioned it the last live show, but like my love for the P90s have come back. Using this on a field against other people, it was so much fun because I forget how compact and easy it is to get down the sights, and just like I lined up the red dot and it was just like there's a guy dead, there's a guy dead, there's a guy dead, and it was great. It was just like nonstop.
I saw part of the video. It looked like you were firing on semi for some portion of it.
Yes. So actually we just went live with another YouTube video. You guys can go check it out right now if you want. I did kind of like an after action report of this specific P90. Of that footage there, we were at Combat Center, and for Combat Center they do semi-automatic only just because it is a CQB environment. They don't want people getting hosed down and stuff. So that is when I was out there and I was popping shots off. And we actually had the Rage Cam on this mount here, which is that camera zoomed in, so I got some cool moments of some good shots. So that was just a lot of fun. And then we played with the what was it, the Blackwater 1911 too, which we were talking about how I'm a fan of CO2 1911s. Bob rocks one too. It's a 1911 you rock, right?
That is the Elite Force two-tone 1911 TAC. It's awesome.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, I need more mags for it, actually.
Nice.
If you're listening, Elite Force, I could use some more mags.
Cliff? On that. Okay, before we go on to other new products, I just want to mention really quick, because I forgot to before, we have gift cards now. Now, these are physical gift cards that we can send out to you guys. We have had online gift certificates for a long time, and so we want to clarify the difference, just in case you guys are a little confused on that. The online gift certificates are a digital only gift certificate, and you buy that, and it goes to your account, and you can send it to anybody's account as a gift. And so when they try to check out with us next time, they'll have the $20, $50, or $100. But if you guys want a physical gift to purchase, you guys can do this online or in the stores, and then you guys can get this gift card and give it to whoever you want. And that's pretty cool. There's a coupon code on the other side that will redeem the amounted, I think it's like 20, 50, and 100. So I think that was about it. Otherwise, I'm really glad that we got these, because these are pretty cool.
Those are pretty awesome, and you know, it's good to have both the physical and the online version, because the online version, you know, you can send that gift money to anyone via email, which is really cool and handy. And having the physical gift card is also pretty cool that people can just take it to the walk-in store and check it out. I would like to send a shout out to the British Royal Marines. I'm glad you were back from deployments. I can't remember. I think it's That's Nightmare Gav. Big fan of the British Royal Marines. Actually, right after I started working here, I actually got in contact with a few Royal Marines, which are pretty amazing gentlemen. All right. Actually, someone was asking what pistol this was.
Let's go into it.
Yeah, this is, I believe, the ACP. This is put up by ASG.
I believe so.
Yeah. Well, this is the ACP pistol. I think it's really cool because...
Oh, I'm sorry, APS.
APS. So this is the ACP pistol put out by APS. I'm stupid. It's right there. So it's actually really comfortable, and I like the fact that it already comes pre-camoed out. That's pretty badass. And notwithstanding, this is a CO2 pistol. So pretty cool. Some of the downsides we've seen is that people on the course were saying, you know, that it is kind of annoying to have to refill these things with CO2 cartridges. But I got to tell you, you know, once you get them in there, those guns, or these CO2 guns, are really fun to use. So highly suggested, and these are not going to break the bank. But my preferred CO2 pistol is once again going to be the Elite Force 1911. So
I would definitely agree, and I would definitely say I'm now more a fan of CO2 pistols. That in the past, I wouldn't like frown on them, but you know, I would definitely stick to like the KWAs and the KGW, the green gas. But the fact that CO2s are available everywhere, and there's some really good quality CO2 pistols that have come out recently, such as this ACP or the Elite Force 1911 and the Blackwaters. I'm kind of, I'm not like, I don't know if I'm swaying towards it, but I'm liking it, especially because like the Elite Force 1911, it kicks harder than like the other green gas pistols. So that's a fun experience, and performance-wise is just really, really good. So yeah, definitely a really cool pistol. How do you feel about the multi-cam paint job on that? Because I'm not personally a huge fan of it. I think it looks cool, but I don't think it'd be something that I would use, but just wanted your input on that.
I actually do really like the fact that it comes pre-camoed out, because, you know, I have seen some other folks that custom camo their pistols, and while that looks cool, well, actually, I just think that, you know, a camo painted pistol is a rarity. So I like this for just like, it would be something different in my kit, something I'd want to put in like a G-code holster or some sort of like Kydex holster that would make me feel awesome. I'd probably only run this if I was wearing, you know, I guess, I don't know, a U.S. military style loadout for some reason. It would feel weird using this as a rebel loadout. So
yeah,
that's all.
Definitely.
Yeah, I believe we are carrying these in different camo patterns. I'm not sure.
Yes,
yeah.
So we have that in, we have it in black. We've had it in black for a while. We just got it in tan, and then the multi-cam as well too. So I'm not too sure what other camo schemes they're coming out with, but it's cool to see different stuff. So we'll go into a few more questions before we show you some other new products. Salvador is asking, how can I make the most accurate gun with around $200 to $300? I guess I'll start with that. My first recommendation is, if you can do it yourself or find a good technician, R-Hop. If you can get like a Prometheus barrel and R-Hop it, that would be an amazing setup. I remember one of our customers, I believe Oliver Avila, I don't know if you remember him, he got one of our DMR, FMG DMR customs, and he got it same day, he gave it to our technicians, and he's like, upgrade it. Like, he was just trying to do pretty much that, the most accurate gun possible. So I'm thinking that if you're talking about $200 to $300, I'm thinking that's just upgrades, or I'm not sure if that would include the gun itself. But like a Prometheus barrel is a great barrel, one of my favorites for a long time, and an RHOP that will work amazingly well. The other setup naturally is going to be the Miracle barrel. If you can get a Miracle barrel and let's say a Madball blue bucking to match with that, that's one of my personal favorites. A Pro-Win hop-up would be also ideal because it's a CNC machined one piece. I would naturally start this with an M4 base because, oh, Bob broke the internet. Bob just broke the internet.
Keep going.
Okay. An M4 base naturally is going to be the most customizable, or one of the most customizable airsoft guns. So that's what I would go with, Salvador. What do you think, Bob?
Well, I could say, for around $200, $300. Sorry, I was tuning in now. I honestly would agree that, I would pick like a mid-level gun, and I would get like a Miracle barrel, and possibly, if I could afford it, some sort of Maple Leaf or some sort of better hop-up. And honestly, that's going to take care of most of your needs as far as accuracy, as far as I believe. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would suggest like maybe even shoot for only $200 to $300. Like start with an FMG4 or G4 build, and then go up from there.
Definitely.
I do want to take it a second to respond to, I believe, Justin Tichenor. I do apologize. I did not respond back, but I really appreciate the offer, and you definitely called it out, the look of shock and disappointment on my face. So a gentleman offered me a tour of the USS Porter, and I didn't have time or the wherewithal to respond back, or even the wherewithal to get down there with my car. My car's not destroyed, but it's out of action. Yeah.
Dang it.
That said, what is the next question?
Next question is from Jesse Blackley, I believe. Please offer me some thoughts on sniping in the MilSim arena, including gun options. Okay, so I mean, I guess we can kind of go into, we got some other products we want to talk about, but we can go into the topic for the day a little bit, which is MilSim versus casual airsofting. We'll start with MilSim. If you're going to snipe with MilSim, first of all, figure out which MilSim event you're going to go to, and also figure out what the requirements are for their guns to be considered snipers. And the reason why I say that is some, like Lion Claws, for example, is very specific. If you want your gun to be a sniper roll, I believe the limit is like close to 550 FPS, but the gun cannot just be like an M4 with a long rail system and barrel. It has to be a sniper variant, such as like a 7.62 M110, like a SR25, something like that. So it has to be something that's considered a sniper within the U.S. military, or commonly known. So that's the first thing I'd recommend. A gun that I would recommend would definitely be like a G&G SR25. That is a really nice platform to go off of because it is a version 2 gearbox internally. I can't remember if it has a longer air nozzle. I think it might, but if it is because it's a version 2, you can upgrade a lot of that internally, which means you can go to that 550 FPS limit, get a Miracle barrel or RHOP and stuff like that too. When it comes to sniping with an AEG, that's tricky because you have to upgrade a lot of the parts internally.
Yes.
So you want to make sure you don't get a gun that's going to be too proprietary. That's one of the challenges. Or P-Star, like Josh did at Irene.
Yeah, no, Josh's P-Star, Polar Star as it were, is probably one of the more effective sniper setups I've seen. I mean, I prefer something different, but again, and I say this all the time, it's not that I don't like Polar Stars, it's just that I don't doubt how effective they are. And Josh was incredibly effective. It's just that I don't like the fact there's no recoil. But yeah, he outranged so many people with that Orga barrel and the Polar Star setup, and the fact that you can adjust it to exactly the amount of joules you want. He even toned it down by 0.3 joules under the limit. So because he was worried that he didn't want to hurt anybody. But as far as like my thoughts on sniping in the MilSim world, like I have done some sniping in it. I prefer gas sniper rifles just for the more realistic aspect of the bolt action, but also the fact that if it is a very quiet thing. I told you this on the last shows that I've had to make those follow-up shots where I missed the first one. I'm like, oh man, they can totally hear me, so I have to just slowly slide the bolt back and then forward and down and take the shot. So those are really great. I always try and get the bolt action sniper rifle. So I would suggest for you, if you are interested in the gas sniper rifle, G&G does put out one. I believe it's called the G&G L96 or the G96. It's a gas sniper rifle. It looks very similar to the OP from Counter-Strike, the Arctic Warfare gun, but that's what I would use. But we do have, I prefer not like the DMR setups that everyone here seems to like. But if you were going to go that route, either a Polar Star similar to the one that Josh had with the GR25 or the M110 that just came out with Aries, that would be a pretty good option because those are very similar to what's currently used. Also, the Aries, I believe, came out with the M700X.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good spring snipe rifle to start with too, because the magazine is placed in the correct place, so aesthetically it looks great. But also the fact that they have, I can't remember the name of the system, but it actually makes it a lot easier to cycle the action on that spring sniper rifle. Because generally, spring sniper rifles, if they're up to spec, like just under 550 feet per second, it's a pain in the ass to cycle just for one shot. But they put Aries put the system into where it actually takes care of a lot of that gumption you got to put into it. So you get 550 feet per second on a 400 feet per second pull. Yep. So really good gun. That is the Aries M700X.
Which is definitely really good. And if you're going to be sniping in the MilSim world, I would say more affordable route is you can go with the bolt action, such as the JG Bar 10, and throw the internal upgrades into it, which is really nice. But you do have that challenge. Not necessarily the challenge, but the rate of fire is not nearly going to be as much if you have to rack the bolt with every shot compared to, let's say, an AEG that is decked out as a sniper that you just click on semi-automatic. Like I have my own personal DMR sniper that I built out that I use at War of Angels, and that was awesome.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was rocking that, and I was rocking 4 rows, and the FPS on that's not even super high. It's a little low right now. It's like 480 compared to the sniper limit. But I was reaching out and hitting people so far away, and like that's the gun I play with at my desk all the time. So that's a lot of fun. But that firepower is really, really helpful.
Yeah, and that's the other options. You have to decide, like, hey, do you want the firepower to at least make a quick effect on the battlefield, or have, I guess more violence of action? But I like the fact that the bolt action, it's a really nice feeling when you fire, get someone, you're like, yeah, I got you, and then you cycle the next one, yeah, I'm so badass, whatever. But enough about guns. Actually, one more thing about guns. If you're thinking about getting into sniping, you haven't really gotten a really good sniper rifle, haven't had much experience, a JG Bar 10 is a very good option for being able to upgrade your gun, as well as just being able to figure out how you would go about sniping in airsoft. But as far as things other than the gun, one of the first things that I did when I got into airsoft sniping is I invested in a ghillie suit. I bought one that was pre-made, and then after I was done with that and realized it didn't really match the terrain very well, I bought one that was just a kit that I had to make myself. Now, we sell some on our website. I believe Condor makes one, and the other one is fleeing my mind, is I think Tactical Crusader Leaf ghillie suit. The Condor one is pretty awesome if it matches the terrain you're in. It also comes with a gun wrap, and that's another really important part about sniping. A lot of people wear all this badass camo that fits in with the terrain, and you bring your sniper rifle out there, and you just stand out because you didn't camo your sniper rifle. So I would highly suggest, if you want to be very serious about it, either spray your own gun, camo out your own gun, or get a gun wrap, or more specifically, buy the Condor ghillie suit if it matches your local terrain, because it comes with a gun wrap, comes with a ghillie suit. It's surprisingly effective, and probably, to be perfectly honest, it's actually really comfortable compared to the ghillie suits I'm used to. And also another thing is camo face paint. Yeah, it takes a while to get off.
But worth it, right?
Well, here's the thing. If you put like hand lotion on or face lotion on beforehand and then put the camo face paint on, not that bad to get off. But if you're sweating, it just dribbles all off of you. So if you put it on blank, it takes a while to get off. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
So we'll go into let's maybe talk about at least GoPros really quick. We'll talk about GoPros, and then we'll go into our topic. I'm really excited. We're all really excited in the marketing department that we got GoPros. Yeah. If you guys don't know what GoPros are, they are an action camera. We've been using Contours for a long time, and those work great, but we just got GoPros, so we're going to start playing with these. These do have the capability of recording at 1080p at 60 frames a second. So we've been playing around with these. We just put up a Facebook video where we recorded at like a slower frame rate, and we showed like one of our G4 shooting, and that was kind of cool. So this is the GoPro Hero 3, I believe, in silver.
Silver edition, yeah.
Silver edition, and so there's a couple different versions that we have in, a lot of accessories. We got like the chest harness. One of my favorite setups is seeing it on like the fast helmets upside down. So
MVG mount?
Yeah, exactly. Like I know Level Cap does that, and it's a really great way to get some of that good action footage. So a lot of that stuff is up on our website now. More is coming soon, and we get to play around with these. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Bob, your thoughts?
I'm really interested about this because I've been using the Contour camera for quite a while. One of the things I've noticed about the GoPros is that they seem to pick up more vivid footage, but as compared to like the sound on the Contour. I've heard the Contour is a little bit better sound, but honestly, I'm really going for, I guess, like higher res footage. I will be going to the Philippines in a couple weeks, and I'm probably picking up one of these to take with me on my trip. So I'm really excited. I'm curious to see the difference in the camera quality, as well as the fact that the Black Edition apparently can film in 4K resolution at a lower frame rate, but that is a huge amount of information per frame, so that is pretty impressive. That's a good point. GoPro has a lower battery life than Contour, but they do have batteries you can insert inside of them as opposed to the current Contours. So yeah.
I think we definitely have to look into, because I think Level Cap has his GoPro, and then it's hooked up to like an external battery pack that lasts longer.
That was from a third-party manufacturer he got. That yeah, I'm actually interested in getting one of those because he can film all day on that thing.
Yeah, which is really cool. So you just turn it on, you don't have to worry about it. So we got a question from Mitch Ray 41 saying, "Hey, is Airsoft GI planning to expand to more states like New York?" Yes, if you guys have looked at our map of where our locations are, there is a little section in, I believe, Texas and New York that says coming soon. I cannot release details or information of when, where, classified, but we're working on it, so we'll get there as quickly as we can.
Someone was asking what barrel extension this is on this P90.
This barrel extension, okay, so this is the Asia Electric P90 that is fully licensed by FN Hersel. You got the cool trademarks. This barrel extension, I believe,
Swiss Arms?
Yes, is the Swiss Arms. But the cool thing about it, which is one of the reasons why I started playing with these again, is that this comes with the P90 standard for I think like $190.
For limited time only.
Yes, and the King Arms version also comes with the same one too. So it's P90 with barrel extension at like the same cost, which is awesome. And we also just set up holiday packages where I think for like $10 or $20 more you can get a red dot that is, this is the Aim Sports one, but you can get the NC Star one that's like $56 separately. But you can get a whole package of everything like this for like a crazy good price. You save like 70 something. I don't know. It's like insane stuff. I don't want to be all sales pitchy, but really cool setup. So check that out. This mount doesn't come with it. That's actually my personal mount.
I would highly suggest, in case you're on our website, just type in holiday package, because we put up so many different holiday packages in the past couple weeks that have such stupidly good deals that you probably want to check that out before you purchase. You don't want to miss out on well, essentially some of the holiday packages, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 parts of it will be insanely discounted, like this. On one of, I believe, the King Arms P90, you can get the P90 by itself, or you can pay 50 cents more to get the barrel extension and the P90.
50 cents, 50 cents, 50 cents. And then, oh, like the other one that I set up was the Elite Force 1911. You get the gun at its normal price and a free magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. And the magazine's like $30 separately. So, okay, so that was that. T-Rex or Trixosaurus, I don't know how you say that.
Trexosaurus.
Daniel and Bob, do you prefer AEG or GBB? Ooh, that's a good question. And that can also, we'll tie that back into the topic for the day. Performance-wise, I would definitely perform an AEG because you can have a high cap that lasts 300 rounds and just spray, you know, 30 BBs a second in terms of straight performance. But for realism, gas blowback is definitely the way to go. You can't beat the realism of a gas blowback. Even like the KW ERGs, I would say, is the closest, which is still a lot of fun. But the kick on the gas blowback is really, really the best for realism. So that would be my vote. What do you think?
Well, I think you know which side I'm going to go on. I'm going to definitely go with gas blowbacks. I honestly don't have a problem, you know, losing at Airsoft or getting my butt kicked. I just want to have a good time. I've never said that, oh, I'm so good at Airsoft, I'm the best here. I just want to have a great time, and that's what gas blowback guns do for me. I just feel like I'm in an action movie. It just feels so cool. So I'm always going to err on the side of gas blowback guns, no matter what.
So I think that brings us to our topic for the day of MilSim versus casual airsoft. So MilSim, well, let's define both settings or both styles of play. MilSim is military simulation. In my mind, what I define as military simulation is a very well-organized event, such as American MilSim or Lion Claws events. And in my mind, one of the other things that will designate it to be MilSim is BDU requirements, where you have to have tricolor Killer on one team and like Woodland on the other. So I mean that alone is going to be more expensive, and then also the requirements of like mid caps. I think that's the other big thing, that you're not just rocking high caps and just like spraying BBs left and right. Casual airsofting, that's what I'll see as just like your walk-ons at like ST Village or your local field, where there are no BDU requirements, there's no magazine requirements, the teams are not set up, and you don't have to pre-register. The days are usually like $20 to $30 to play. A lot more relaxed. Usually the games are set up by either just like different colored armbands. So I think that's what I see as casual airsofting. So with that being said, Bob, what do you prefer, MilSim or the casual airsoft?
Well, you basically just described your version of what MilSim is versus casual airsoft.
That's my version. Let me ask you, what's your version of what you consider to be MilSim and casual airsoft, or is it along the lines of the same thing?
It is along the lines. I mean, I think there are a few things that separate the two between each other. First of all, MilSim to me would be uniform requirements. You got to have some sort of uniformity on whatever team you're fighting with. Also, the fact that mid caps are generally used or have to be used for certain guns, except for squad automatic weapons. Generally, just an overall effort to make it make the simulation as military as possible. Casual airsofting is just that, obviously recreational. You go out and play, have a good time.
Yeah.
I would probably prefer MilSim. That's where like all of the biggest games I've gone to, or all the funnest games I've gone to, have generally been MilSim games, with the exception of Tim vs. Bob. Tim vs. Bob are not MilSim games. You can bring almost whatever you want within the field rules. But it's just when I got started out and started having a really great time at Airsoft, I think the MilSim games were for me. Like I loved having the mid caps. I mainly loved having the mid caps because it forced me to go to my sidearm, which made me again feel like I was in a movie. And also MilSim games were the only ones where I'd ever run up against tanks, or, I mean, back in the day, we had mortars that you could call in. You'd have to have a lieutenant or higher to call in a mortar strike. I mean, I would have never expected to see that as a casual game. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I would have to go with MilSim.
I would definitely go MilSim by far. MilSim is just an amazing experience. If you have never played a MilSim event, you definitely have to try it if you're serious about airsoft. Yeah, just the realism and the experience of like Irene explosions going off and like helicopter sounds and stuff like that. Like, there's nothing like it. It's absolutely amazing. Some of the troubles though with MilSim is it's definitely a lot more of an investment of time and money. For example, if you don't have the right BDUs for that event, you have to set yourself up with that. A lot of MilSim events are dramatically more expensive, potentially as much as $200 just for an event. Sometimes you might have to travel just to go to one of those events as well. So I think in their own way, MilSim is obviously, I think, the ultimate airsoft experience that every airsofter should eventually try and aim for. But for the casual airsofter that may not always have as much time and effort, like I love just playing on the weekends just with my buddies that's not as serious, we can kind of goof around and just have a good time. So I think it's they're both good in their own ways. I'm kind of curious to know like how many, and there's so many airsofters out there, how many of them have actually had a chance to try MilSim? And I'm sure most is just doing the casual airsofting.
Well, we're probably not going to hear back too quickly. I will agree. Like MilSim does take up a lot of preparation time, and that's kind of part of the allure of it, is that you want to like get your kit how you want it before you go out there, so you don't have to worry about it. But I mean, there's a lot of preparation and money that goes into MilSim. But also, like when you are out there, you kind of feel this pride in your kit. Like you worked so hard to make it how you wanted it, and you're going to rock and roll with it. Come hell or high water.
I think there's definitely a really big different mindset of the casual airsoft day compared to MilSim. When you go to a MilSim event, everybody there, they've been prepping, they've been planning, they've been traveling, and when they go out there, I think it's a different mindset that people are more willing to work together, plan something out, execute a strategy, breach a room together and stuff like that. And also from my experience, people are also very honest about it too. A lot of MilSim events are 18 and over only. I know sometimes if you're underage, you have to have somebody vouch for you, but it's definitely a higher standard of airsoft, and it's definitely taken a little bit more serious, but it's still extremely fun. It's amazing.
All right, we got Pearson Manikas, or actually no, we got Evan O, who asked a question first. What is your favorite class in Battlefield 4? Daniel?
Medic. Always medic. Like I've tried switching to support in Battlefield 3 for a while, which was a lot of fun. Like I'd get like suppression points like crazy, but I love just running in quick and just mowing guys down. Like the 416 is by far my favorite gun. And then guys go down, you res them, and you just keep going. I think the ability to revive your teammates is why I like it so much, because it's a forced multiplayer. Your guy's dead, and oh no, you're alone. Just kidding, revived, and now he's fighting with you on your feet again. So I think that's a very, very powerful tool. So I love the medic class.
I'm actually, oddly enough, going to agree with Daniel on this one, although for different reasons. It is really cool to help brother out, getting them back up, and that's definitely something that Jet and Josh and I have been doing in our Battlefield 4 games. But I honestly like the medic class because it's an easy way for me to get points. I definitely just try and spam it so I can get all the points and get more guns. So that's why I like the medic class. If I had to choose something else, I really like the engineer class because I just love shooting down helicopters from a boat.
Definitely. Oh, do you want to hear something embarrassing about Battlefield?
Yes.
I don't know if I told you, but I told Josh. So I've been playing Battlefield since it came out. I just found out how to use battle packs. Yeah, really bad. I just figured out. Shout out to Sean.
Double face bomb.
Seriously, I shout out to Sean. He's actually, I believe, a customer that friended me from the live chat when I gave him my gamer tag. And I was like, "Hey, Sean, can you tell me how to use battle packs?" Like, it's really embarrassing. And I was like, I opened battle packs for like 20 minutes because I had so many of them. I was like ranked 30 at the time.
That's ridiculous.
So that was really funny. But Battlefield's awesome. I love that. But next question.
I want to answer. Yeah, I specifically want to respond to Pearson Manakas. Hey, Bob, I'm an intermediate player, and I don't like going to games because people look at me like a noob, and I don't like that. Help. Earlier, you also mentioned that you wear, I believe this is the same person, you mentioned you wear Cryptek to your games, and you haven't been able to join a team because people look at you weird. Here's what I say to that. I say, screw those other guys. You go out there and you have as much fun as you can for you. Who cares if people look at you where you're wearing Cryptek? Cryptek is awesome, and you have it. It's yours. Just have a good time in your own skin. Don't bother about those other guys who are just being, I guess, buttheads. Just go out there and have a fun time for you. That's what Airsoft is all about. I think it's bad, you know, if you have to base the amount of fun you're going to have on other people's reactions. I think it's better just to go out there and have a good time for yourself and not worry about other people. You got to be comfortable in your own skin. And honestly, if people aren't going to want you on their team because you're wearing Cryptek, they don't deserve to have you on their team. Okay? Yeah. I mean, you should be there with the guys who want to have you there to hang out with. And that's really what Airsoft is all about, is being there with people who appreciate you for who you are.
You know what? I want to touch on that point because I can really empathize because I know exactly what that's like. I've never been on an Airsoft team or anything like that. And before I worked with this company, Airsoft has been a huge part of my life personally, that it was just something I always did on my own. I didn't really have a group of guys or buddies, and like it was just so much fun that I was obsessed with the game, and I still am, that I would go out there to Airsoft Playground with my Tokamuri P90, and I'd just go out there and I'd rock and I'd have a great time. And when I go there, I talk to other people that like I didn't know from my own personal life, but there were so many other people there that were like other guys that were just on their own there, or just like, I just want to play. And I was like, hey man, what team are you in? Okay, let's run together, you know? So I started talking to people and making friends, and just like, oh hey, you gonna be here next Saturday? Yeah, I'll probably be here. And you start rolling with like the same group of guys, and you know that's exactly how a lot of teams start. And although we never did anything official, I mean, Airsoft is a social thing. You know, you're going out there and you're shooting at other people. So if you go out to fields alone, which I still do from time to time, I'll go out there and I'll talk to, oh hey, you're Denver. Oh hey, what's up? Yeah, you know, you want to play together? You know, and you just meet people. And so yeah, all the people that are looking down at you, I would go in jeans and a baggy sweater, and it just like, I just want to play. If you want to go play, go play, talk to people, make friends, and roll together. And that's what Airsoft is. It's just a good time.
I actually want to say something else to Pearson. Pearson, one, I apologize. I noticed earlier you said you had messaged us about getting a Timber's Bob patch because you've flown out from Michigan and you didn't get one. I apologize. I get a lot of messages every day. I didn't see your message there. So if you wouldn't mind, do me a favor, just message me again on Airsoft GI Bob the Axeman. I'll do what I can to make sure that patch gets out to you, because those are very rare patches, and I want to make sure if you were there to fight for either the Tin Empire or the Rebellion that you get what is due to you. So hit me up on Airsoft GI Bob the Axeman, please. Just message me with any of your information. We'll take care of it. And again, I am very sorry for not dealing with this earlier. So. All right, we only have a limited amount of time left, so hopefully we'll get to some more questions.
Definitely.
Also, I'd like to make a note. I'm actually thinking about getting Cryptek, some Cryptek gear for myself. So, yeah.
Cryptek's definitely cool.
All righty. Devin Mead, what is your favorite rail for an M4? Daniel?
Noveski NSR Keymod. That's what's on my custom M4 right now. By far the lightest rail system I've ever had. Modular rail system where there's only rail on the top to make it a monolithic upper rail, but then you move the rail panels wherever you want, and then you make it do whatever. And I've mentioned that so many times. But yeah, and that's a great rail.
What's amazing about that Keymod is that it's so ridiculously light, and it looks awesome. For me, this is a TTPG. Lately, I've been kind of a fan of the Mark 18 style rails. I actually saw someone, a good friend of mine, Gene, who has an LM4 that's kitted out to look like a Mark 18. He had to actually cut the barrel down. That looks badass. So Mark 18 style rails are my favorite right now. I don't really have a specific one in mind to give you just like the overall style. So.
Here's another really good question from Brandon. He's asking, do we like playing with 0 engagements? And what I'm thinking is that what you're talking about is 0 engagement distances. Traditionally, when you play at a sanctioned airsoft field, you'll have a 10-foot or 25-foot minimum engagement distance for safety's sake. So if you're too close to somebody, you say surrender, or you say bang bang or something like that. And the question, I believe, is do you like playing without those 0 engagement distances? Yes, I absolutely love that. I had a chance to play with Chris from Warfighter. They had a private game going with a bunch of veterans at SC Village, and it was a pretty small group, and everybody agreed that there's 0 engagement distances. When I play Airsoft, I always play not super aggressive because I want to make sure that I'm not going to overshoot anybody or something like that, or shoot somebody too close. So when I breach a room, my finger's off the trigger, and when I see somebody, my first thought is, am I too close or am I too far away? So I'll hesitate for a full second or two before I decide to shoot. And sometimes, that's gotten me killed, but I want to make sure I don't, overshoot or hurt anybody. When I play with no engagement distances with close friends that everybody agree with, that's a lot of fun because I get to turn that off, so it's just like whoever's in this room is about to get shot, and there's it doesn't matter where or how close. It's just and there's been moments that we'll come up and we're just turn the corner, bang bang, and just tap tap, and it's you aim a little lower in the chest and stuff like that, and yeah, it does sting a little bit more, but everybody's in agreement, and it's a lot of fun, and it's still safe. I really love that. What do you think, Bob?
I have had very few opportunities to play what we call big boy rules, but I've had a really great time with it because I remember the first game I played it out at SC Viper. I went around the corner, there was a guy in a shipping container, I was like, surrender. And you're not supposed to yell surrender, you're supposed to shoot. And the guy was like, huh? And I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. Pop, pop. And it was just so liberating to not have to, do that surrender thing. I mean, albeit it's really good for, the vast majority of folks are out there. But if you go out there knowing you're playing big boy rules, it's a lot more fun. Yeah. And also, the fact of someone be like, hey, dude, you shot me so close. Why'd you shoot me so many times? You don't have to explain. It's like, hey, man, it's big boy rules. Yeah. Obviously, if, you go around the corner and you put, 50 into someone's neck, you're kind of being a dick.
Yeah, so granted, just because there's 0 engagement distances doesn't mean you can or you should, overshoot somebody.
It's not a license to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And those moments when I shoot somebody super close, I'm on semi, or I'll do a super quick burst. Yep. My goal is not to hurt them. It's just to put
them out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just you breach your room, they're looking at me, and that kind of takes away the whole parlay. Oh, I was aiming at you first type thing. It's just you go in and just pop, pop. You know, and that's really cool. Which I think, in my opinion, if we go back to the whole MilSim and casual airsofter, I would love it if there was a 200, 300, 400 MilSim game and there was no minimum engagement distance. That would be really cool. Most likely that will probably never happen because there's a lot of insurance and liability issues with these, MilSim games, which I understand, and that's completely fine. But how cool would that be if we were playing at Irene, breaching a room, and it's just whoever's in the other room, if they're wearing the different camo, they're going to get shot. That I think would be great. I would love that.
It's actually interesting. I just had a thought. I was trying to think of the middle ground between MilSim and casual airsofting, and it just clicked. ITS down in San Diego area? Integrity Tactical Solutions has events at the Stops facility. I've heard recently they've cut down on their pyro, but while they were still doing pyro, those were probably the best iteration of, or I guess the best combination of both MilSim and casual airsoftting put together. It's literally right in the middle ground because you have all these different MilSim things of the field looks real. They're playing all the stuff over the loudspeakers, the call to prayer, as well as city sounds, as well as gunfire and helicopters. So you have the atmosphere of a MilSim event, as well as the explosions of a MilSim event, but you have the gameplay and style of a casual day of gaming. You know, there's in between rounds, you're just hanging out, and, you know, there's unlimited respawns you go out there and play. So I think that the games at ITS are actually probably the best mix I've found of middle ground MilSim casual. Also, our TVB games, while they're not at all MilSim, it is kind of like, you know, a bit of a small mix where you have like the folks that are kitted out. We have military style events, but at the same time, everything else is just batshit crazy.
Yeah, and that's what I like about the TVB series is that it is kind of that middle ground between the MilSim, that it's not going to be super hardcore that you have to have this BD requirement, this magazine capacity, but it's definitely more organized with objectives. And then, you know, like the training camp we're going to have actual military personnel training, you know, the new airsofters on, you know, airsoft stuff and tactics, and then real world stuff. That's really going to be a lot of fun. I have this MilSim fantasy in my mind, if I may, that I would think would be the best MilSim experience ever. And a lot of it started with that BL Tech simulator. Imagine this. Let's say we're at Irene and it's like 200 on 200. Let's say everybody's rocking gas blowback. So that'd be the first thing. So like everyone has an LM4 or a GMP walk, or, you know, like a gas blowback. Everything is just gas blowback. So that'd be the first one. Let's say everybody had those BL Tech simulators. So every time they fired, it sounded like a real gun.
Wow.
That would be like the ultimate MilSim experience, because you're talking about 400 people with gas blowback. So number one, they're going to watch how much they shoot. They're not going to be running downs. They're not going to be blowing rounds down range. Oh, I see, guys, I'm going to spray. So I think that's part of the experience too, that they're going to pick their shots wisely. So that's also going to allow for a lot more movement of the game, because there's not just hoses of BBs coming down. We'd probably want to add some M249s in there too, just to keep up the support gunner. But then you have, you know, a BL Tech sound simulator. If you guys aren't familiar with that, we posted a YouTube video a little while ago. But essentially, it's a sound device that every time you fire your gun, it sounds like a real gun based on, I think it has like green gas.
It's actually propane, and it essentially sounds like a 22 going off. So it's not, you know, the loudest thing, but it's not quiet. Like it sounds like a real bullet going off.
And it's much louder than an airsoft gun. So 400 people, all gas blowback guns. So limited, very limited, realistic magazine capacity. It's even more realistic than the mid caps that hold 130. And everyone has a gun that sounds realistic. Like it would just be like 3, 2, 1, go! Bah, bah, bah. It'd sound like a war zone. It'd be insane. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I definitely think that would be a lot of fun. It would definitely make, as far as Ross from marketing department said, it would definitely make Peltors or Ear Pro actually really effective and honestly a combat advantage because it's going to be so loud. But yeah, I would love to be able to use one of those, especially indoors. That'd be loud.
Yeah. Oh, that scenario, if it was like the fantasy, it would have no minimum engagement distance too. So that'd be cool.
Indeed.
That'd be really awesome.
Indeed. All right, we do have one more question. If you could only use a pistol, what would you take?
That's hard.
I would take an Elite Force 1911 TAC CO2 pistol.
I think it depends. If I was playing at an outdoor field, I'd probably take the Blackwater 1911 that I just played with. If it was at a CQB environment that's closer, I'd take my TM High Kappa. Because I haven't done much of that, but I put like a Type R barrel and a bucking, and I think shoots really accurate, so I like that. But the Blackwater 1911 that I have is very similar to the Elite Force one, because the CO2 has higher FPS and a lot of range, so it goes farther than some of my other green gas pistols. So that's probably what I would go with.
Special shout out to Desert Fox Airsoft, who just showed up. Jet, call me.
Hi, Jet.
Seriously, call me.
Air superiority tonight, and we'll play some jets.
Oh, have you guys done the helicopter superiority thing?
Oh my gosh, that's so much fun! Yeah, I love that. That thing is great.
Oh, solid. Yeah, I don't have premium, so I don't have that yet. So.
Oh, you gotta get that.
Yeah.
We've been doing air superiority, and it's just like total like Top Gun wingman status, and it's nuts because there's a guy in my team just like, oh, I'm coming here, tango down and stuff like that. We gotta focus our shit, Fox, like the whole 9 yards. Like it's amazing. It's great. It's so much fun.
I feel stupid. I actually haven't been playing Battlefield 4 really at all in the past couple weeks. I've literally been on a Warhammer 40K kick. Like I've played like a lot of 40K recently. Which is weird. Actually, any 40K players out here, I just played my first Apocalypse game, and that was crazy. All right, let's see if we have any other questions. We're getting down to the last 5 or 6 minutes.
I think we can go with questions here.
We can go with questions, though. Click on that thing. Click on that box.
I don't think that. What is your favorite machine pistol? This is from Richard Sue. Richard, he is a regular customer that is probably in the store more than our employees.
KWA KMP9. KWA KMP9.
Nice. No, I don't think this classifies as a machine pistol, so I won't say P90. My favorite machine pistol? I don't know. That's a really hard one. Probably like an MP7 or something. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that, Richard. I'll see you in the store soon. I'm sure I'll see you there all the time. What else do we have?
You can go up.
Major caves.
What is the inner barrel length on that King Arms P90 package?
The inner barrel length on any P90 stock is 250 millimeters. What we have in here is inner barrel that our technicians did install that's aftermarket. It's a Miracle barrel. That's 363. That is equal to an M4 length barrel. But stock, it's going to come, just stop right here at the end of the flash hider, and that's 250.
Oh, this is a good question, actually. This is from Josh. If you could have any video game level for airsoft play, what would be your choice?
It'd have to be something CQB, just because airsoft guns don't shoot as far as some of my favorite video games. So I'd say, I think Locker would be pretty cool. I've been playing it a lot, but it's like this prison complex. It's abandoned. Yeah, Locker would be pretty interesting. Or no, not Locker. The other one. I forget the name. What's the one on Battlefield 4 where it's like Flood Zone? Ah, yes. Yeah, because that's like multi-level. Like you can go on the first, second, third, and fourth level, and on the roofs, and that one's extremely dynamic. So that'd be really cool.
Finding a tough. Any video game level for airsoft play? That is a really tough decision because my gut is telling me, one of the dust maps from Counter-Strike, like either the first dust or, dust 2, DQ dust. And also, the other one, God, I kind of want like Siege of Shanghai.
That would be awesome,
yeah,
too.
with a destroyable skyscraper.
Yeah, that's
not very doable for airsoft, though.
We can destroy a skyscraper for the sake of an airsoft game. Like, that's okay, right? We'll just buy it. It's fine.
Yeah, part of me wants to see like some of the Mass Effect levels. That's a tough question. It requires further thought, which is why Josh, I think, asked us to ask this. So if you guys have any answers for what you would want for, a video game level for an airsoft field, please actually leave it in the comments below, because I personally would like to hear that, because I only have a couple ideas right now, and I really would hope our viewers would have better ideas than I have in these couple seconds of what like the most badass airsoft field to play off of that would have been previously done in a video game. So leave those comments below. I personally, again, would love to see that.
See if I can refresh this. Okay, so we got about 3 minutes, so we can see if we have any more questions. Staring contest. I'm really bad at staring contests. I'm not gonna. You win. You win. Dust would be fun. Dust is
Pipeline. Nice.
Pipeline.
Rust.
Oh, Nuketown. How did I think about Nuketown?
Actually, there's an airsoft field. I think that has made a small Nuketown.
So you know what I forgot to talk about? That guy.
It'll be fine. Why do we? It'll be. Yeah. Do you want to talk about it right now? We have 3 minutes. All right. Move around.
They have no idea what we're talking about, so it could be
Operation
the greatest
Metro.
thing to airsoft.
That would be cool. Operation Firestorm. That'd be badass.
Firestorm, I think, would be too big.
Yeah.
I do like all the
Davamans.
explosion tanks and all that stuff too.
Is rappelling allowed during MilSim games? Some MilSim games, it's basically up to the field to allow that. Some MilSim games are cool that. Other teams have been banned from MilSim games for rappelling when it wasn't approved. So MilSim games, you have to read the warning order, or at least the rules for those, to make sure that you're not going beyond the scope of the game. You don't want to get kicked out, and you also want to make sure that you're living up to the event organizers' rules and regulations. So.
Okay, so Nick is asking, what is our favorite KWA pistol besides the 1911 and the ATP? I would probably have to go with the M9 because of the realism. The KWA M9 is the most realistic, and what I mean by that is, small example, the safety acts as a deconker. If you do that like on a KJW or a WeTech, it will not do that. So it's super realistic. That thing shoots hard and accurate and far for a pistol, so that's a really good one. And when I say the M9, you have the Raffica, which is nice. So you have the fully automatic and the extended mags. So that's just a blast.
My favorite pistol besides, my favorite KWA pistol besides the 1911 or ATP would have to be the HK45. The grip is so comfortable. The gun itself feels like an extension of my arm which is a really rare feeling for me. Also, the gun holds 28 rounds, so definitely got a lot of ammo. I only really have like 2 or 3 mags for it, and I'm not going to need anything else for it. So I really like that gun. Incredibly comfortable, very accurate, holds a lot of ammo. HK45.
Definitely, and just to go off that, the HK45 is the only KWA pistol that has the 2-prong bucking on the inside that is equivalent to their 2GX buckings that are in their SR series, like the SR10s and SR5s and all that other stuff too. So it is also internally one of the better performing KWA pistols because of that bucking and the mechanics, so it actually does mean a little bit more range and consistency and accuracy. So definitely really
I
cool.
want to try something a little tricky right now.
What are we trying?
All right, I want everyone to take a look at this. Okay, that's Ross, one of our predators, and I was staring at that this whole time we've been having this conversation.
Yeah, it's a little distracting.
Very eclectic style of dress Ross has.
See, Ross is very excited
Ross,
about.
come on.
Ross is very excited about
Hey.
GoPros. I think we scared him off. So he's been playing with GoPros like crazy, just playing with the different settings and the different setups. And so obviously that was like upside down and right in front of his face. But some pretty cool stuff.
Wait, go down. Last question I want to answer. Human Arsenal, #1 gun in real life that you would like to adapt to Airsoft. AA-12 shotgun.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a gun that I would want an Airsoft that's not already within the Airsoft world. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Like a gun that's not. So I think all the cool guns that like I really like in real life. I mean I don't shoot enough real guns. That's probably one of my problems.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, so I'm definitely more obsessed with Airsoft. But I think we're out of time. Yeah. So we're out of time. This has been our live show on December 17th. Yeah, Tuesday, December 17th.
Well, guys, thanks for everyone showing up. I'm Bobby Axeman Hildebrand. This is
Daniel.
Excellent. And this has been our GITV live show. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.